I want you to think how often you use clean, fresh water. Conserving our freshwater resources is critical to the survival of the planet. And every living organism on the planet requires fresh, clean water. The extreme difference between a stream or a pond environment will dictate the types of insects and predators found there. Insects are some of the best indicators of water quality, and being able to recognize the particular species of insects will help determine the quality of the fresh water throughout the year. The aquatic world is incredibly violent, and just about everything there is prey for something else. Usually that's going to be insects. So today, I'm going to take you collecting insects, and I think you're going to be astonished at the variety of insects and other invertebrates that are hanging out in your freshwater resources all around you. All right, guys, Ryan Bridge of Bugman. We're up here at Pound Ridge, New York, and we're in the reserve, and we're finally at a point where we can go into the creek and we can try and flip some stones and move some things around and see what kind of aquatic insects are hiding in the stream. This stream is notorious for holding a lot of really good insects, big populations. It's obviously a nice crystal clear stream. Now, when we create disturbance here, it all flows down. So in order to do this properly, we have to work our way upstream. I want to make sure we're in the flow. I want to make sure we're in where the fast water is. But this also gets a little tricky and can get deep, so I'm trying to be careful there too. We're going to position the net behind, move the rocks, and anything that comes out underneath those rocks flows into the net. And that way we can get a pretty good idea. The other thing I like to do is once I move the rock, I then wipe the bottom of the rock off, and that will also move more stuff into the net. Give us a better idea of what kind of bugs might be hiding in here. So we're going to give this a shot. All right, guys, here's a good example of a stonefly nymph. These are really common. They're also an indicator of stream health. The adult of the stonefly is going to look just like this. And then we're back to the nymph. It's a fish fly. Now the fish fly will have an adult that has large wings, and it's not a really large insect as an adult. It's only 2.5 to 3 inches long at best. This larva is still somewhat small. There's a while to go yet. All right, guys, and here is a mayfly nymph. Mayflies, again, the adults are going to leave the water. They're going to fly around and come to lights at nighttime, sometimes in huge numbers. This is also a primary food of fish in the streams. Just another cool aquatic bug that we're going to find in here. And again, it's an indicator of stream health, so this is not a bad thing to find at all. This is a really small one. This is a caddisfly larva. Now, these things usually have cases around them, sometimes built of stones and sticks and cool little things like that. Keeps them protected from predators. They can stay hidden. They'll build little nets, usually out in front of them in the current, and collect debris that comes down through. And that's what they'll feed on, is a lot of that plant debris that collects in the net. Again, another good food source for animals, fish, birds, all the things that are going to be feeding in and along the streams. And it's a larva. The adult will leave the stream and fly sometimes to lights at nighttime, but they usually fly out, they seek mates. The females then come back, lay the eggs, and the process starts all over again. So, we talked about caddisflies. I showed you the caddisfly larva a few minutes ago, and check this out. We now have a variety of cases going on here. These are caddisfly larva cases, larval cases. There's a caddisfly larva hiding inside here. Those are all sticks and pieces of bark and debris that this particular one glued together to make this particular case. These are from stones, and this one you can actually see a little bit of the larva sticking out. When I peeled it off the rock, you can barely see the larva, but it's there. But these were all hiding on the bottom side of that rock. And these are caddisfly larval cases. They will stay in these long enough to where they can eventually mature and pupate. And again, the adults will hatch out, rise to the surface, and fly around at nighttime. And caddisflies will come to lights at nighttime too. I suspect if we blacklight tonight, we might be able to show you some caddisfly adults coming into those lights, which are going to be really cool. So we'll get you a nice look at those too, hopefully. After about 5 or 6 minutes of poking around in the water, flipping some rocks, this is what we came up with. Not a bad haul at all. We've got caddisflies and mayflies. There were some stoneflies that I don't see here right now. That's okay. We got these fish fly larvae, bunches of little fish fly larvae. But these are really typical as far as aquatic insect life is concerned. For streams, for moving water, fast moving water particularly. Most of these things have gills and they require that oxygen rich water in order to survive. So these are not things you're going to find hiding in ponds normally. I still really dig these caddisflies. Hey guys, it's Ryan Bridge the Bugman, and I am showing you a Dobsonfly. Dobsonflies are the adult of the hellgrammite. Hellgrammites are an aquatic larva, lots of legs and gills, and at the same time, they turn into a Dobsonfly. This is a male. Notice his big long pinchers. Those pinchers look pretty fierce, but at the same time, they're actually quite harmless. You see, he's trying, even if I let him get me at the points, they're just not real strong. They really can't hurt you. Females are going to have short pinchers, and they actually can pinch pretty good. And in some cases, they've even been known to draw blood on people. Now, these things aren't going to hunt you down and hurt you. The pinchers are merely for protection. The males will use their long pinchers in order to hold on to the females while they mate. Long antennae help them to smell when they're seeking out females. And they have these really cool, beautiful wings that help them to fly around at nighttime. They don't eat as an adult. They're only out seeking mates, and they're really easily attracted to lights at nighttime. Such a cool insect is the Dobsonfly. Hey folks, be sure you like and subscribe to what's going on here. If you like this channel, then tap that subscribe button and let us know how much you appreciate it. Get in on some of the comments, let me know what you think, let me know how you feel, and offer whatever support you can, because we always appreciate everything our fans are doing for us. Thanks a lot. Take care. All right, so we've left the pond. We're headed over to the creek, which we are at as of right now. This is the Little Conewago here in East Manchester Township. Brandon and a couple other folks from the club are here. They're making their way down. We're going to work this riffle right in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the dip net in, basically a drift net, and then we roll stones and we roll the debris on the bottom, and that brings up the Dobsonfly larvae. They're called hellgrammites, and fish flies and caddisflies, mayflies, stoneflies, all that fun stuff are all going to be hiding in amongst these rocks, but they're going to float into the net. Then we put them in a bucket, and we take them to Penn State with us for the Great Insect Fair, and those will also go in to their aquatic pool that they're building for at this event. So stay with us, going to be fun. Got it? Okay, here's a dragonfly nymph. This is a nice big one. This is probably I'm going to guess this is probably one of the smaller of the darner species, but it also might be the really nice big, this might be a 10 spot or a 12 spot skimmer, because it's not as big as the darners typically get, but it is still a really cool aquatic. And again, man, this thing's getting ready to climb out of the water. Check those wings out. It's going to crawl out of the water, it's going to hang, it's going to shed that outside shell, and in doing so it will pump up the wings and fly away as an adult dragonfly. Super, super cool. And he's ready to roll. Let's get him in a bucket. That's a damselfly nymph, full wing cases. So that's one that's, if he doesn't hatch this year, which that's probably 50-50 on him. He looks like he's really close to going. So that's what the damselfly nymphs look like. All right, we're gonna chase this guy around a little bit and hopefully keep him in frame. This is a backswimmer. These are predators, just like most of the other things in the aquatic environment. And they have those hind legs that are in the shape of boat oars. And this is not a water boatman. Water boatmen eat algae. They're not a predator. These guys will eat water boatmen. And they can give a pretty good sting. Much comparable to that of like an ambush bug or one of the assassin bugs. Not quite a wheel bug. not much gets worse than those. But it's a backswimmer. Totally cool. Good fish food, good bug food, but also a predator. One of the most overlooked aquatic insects is the toad bug. They're brown and gray and even act like a toad, yet are only the size of your fingernail. Toad bugs live along the edges of water and they search for prey. Most times these small and amazingly well camouflaged insects can be hard to find without catching their movement on the moist sand and mud. Their eyes are located on top of their heads, offering a wide range view. Toad bugs are voracious predators, feeding on other small insects that inhabit the same shorelines they do. This male toad bug is feeding on a pygmy grasshopper that wandered close enough for him to jump onto it, inject his proboscis, and begin feeding on the internal juices. This will quickly kill the tiny grasshopper, and he'll continue feeding until most of the juices are gone, then discard it so ants and other scavenging insects can come clean it up. Nothing goes to waste in nature. Toad bugs mate in early spring and can be found in small groups. The darker males will readily compete with other males. Once mating, the pair will often seek refuge away from the group, probably to reduce commotion and unwanted detection from predators. They remain paired for about an hour or so. Female toad bugs continue to hunt for prey even while mating, as the male is more or less ignored during the process. However, shorebirds, spiders, tiger beetles, and other predators will actively eat careless toad bugs. Alright, check this out. These are so cool. This, don't you bite me. I don't know if he can or not, but I don't like taking chances. This, oh, look at this. Super cool. This is a water scorpion. These things look a lot like a walking stick, but they're aquatic. They live under the water, and those tails are actually snorkels. And they use those to breathe. That way they can invert themselves under the water and still get food. Notice those little cool little grabbers they use to get food. This is a super cool bug. Notice the head and the grabbers that they're using in order to stay inverted, and then they can catch food with those grabbers at the end. That's their front legs, but they have that proboscis right there. That's what they're going to stab into their prey and then suck the juice out of it. These are super cool. I'm so happy to find one of these. and be able to show you guys what a water scorpion looks like. Outstanding. We're gonna put that into the bucket. Awesome. Keep looking. All right, as promised, there it is. I see the eggs, and that tells me this is a northern giant water bug male. And he's probably gonna make a run for it. And he has eggs on his back. Let's have a good look at this while we got him sitting still, because these are such amazing, cool bugs. Let's get a good look at this one while he's sitting still, because these are such amazing bugs. And again, it's an aquatic insect. And these males are responsible for taking care of the eggs laid on their back by the female. And they'll camp out on those things for a couple weeks, and then they'll start to hatch. And those babies pop into the water, and they just kind of swim away and do their thing and turn into little predators just like Dad. Pretty cool stuff. Pop this out of here and get a better look at it real quick. These things run like crazy as soon as they're out of the weeds and exposed. They don't like it. There's a backswimmer on him. We'll get that off of there. Here we go. See if I can get him to sit. Woohoo! He's gonna sit and behave himself. I like it. Again, probably one of my favorite of the aquatic insects, and mainly because they're just so cool. The way those eggs get laid on the back. You have to appreciate bugs that take care of their babies. All right, here we have the female of the northern giant water bugs, aka toe biters. So this is a good example of the female. You notice there's no eggs there. They lay their eggs on the male's back. And I already showed you one of those, but odds are I'll find another one in here. If I do, I'll show you that one as well, because there's always more than one. All right, here we go. Still looking. This is the giant water bug. These amazing insects can be equally scary to most people who don't realize what they are. They are one of our largest aquatic insect predators. They feed on other insects, small fish, salamanders, and they especially love to hunt crayfish. Like most of the aquatic predators, they're going to inject their proboscis and simply suck the internal juices out of their prey. These cool water bugs will also come to lights at night. And that confuses a lot of people because they don't realize that they're an aquatic. There are approximately 2,000 species of aquatic beetles throughout the world. They vary from 1/10 to slightly over 2 inches in size. Water beetles are not only predators, but are also grazers. By feeding on aquatic plants, algae, and sometimes scavenging bugs and worms, they help to clean those water sources. We were hoping to find some true stream environment beetles called riffle beetles. We failed to find them, including even their larvae called water pennies, probably due to time of the year. We did still manage to find some cool examples that can be found in the stream environment. The larvae of water beetles are predators, though. They opportunistically hunt for other aquatic prey, such as insects and worms and maybe even leeches. Aquatic beetle larvae do not have gills, but instead they breathe through a snorkel-like appendage on the end of the abdomen. They remain inverted, and they'll wait to ambush prey swimming past, unless they need to swim deeper and actively search for their prey. Water scavenger beetles alternate their leg movements. This gives them the appearance that they're running underwater. Some water beetle species use an air bubble located under the abdomen to breathe as they swim. When coming up for air, they'll surface abdomen first. So look, insects are found throughout all of our freshwater resources. They help to clean and balance those resources. They also make great indicators of the health of both the ecosystem and the fresh water. So check it out, man. The insects in the streams and rivers aren't a whole lot different in life cycle from those in the ponds and the lakes. It's still an incomplete life cycle. The biggest difference is going to be abdominal gills used in a fast-moving current. Otherwise, they're just going to use those cool little snorkels out of the end of the abdomen. So I'm not quite done with these videos yet, because I want to show you how cool it is to build aquariums, to keep and study aquatic insects, and then show you some of the really cool adaptations and habits that they display. Now this is going to involve some serious collecting, including collecting aquatic insects at night. So stay tuned for the next aquatic video. I think it's part 3. You won't be disappointed. And most of all, guys, hopefully you enjoy these videos. Let me know either way, because I'm trying to bring you some good educational and fun content out here. Guys, it's still a very, very angry world out there. So be safe, be well, and man, let's all be kind. We'll see you.